Good evening, all. Thank you for joining us today and appreciate the opportunity to talk to you all today. I'm absolutely delighted and thrilled to be a part of this discussion and excited to be talking to someone who is fondly called as the data center man of India. He has primarily conceptualized, designed, built, and operated data centers in the country and has spearheaded the digitization drive in India. This is none other than Mr. Sunil Gupta, co-founder and CEO, Yotta Infrastructure Solutions. We are pleased to have you here, Sunil.
Hi, Sabri. Thank you very much for having me here.
And why don't we start a brief introduction about yourself, Sunil? Let us know a little bit more about yourself. We'll start with that.
Sure. Hi, Sabri. Hi, everybody. Pleased to introduce myself. My name is Sunil Gupta. I have been into the data center, cloud, internet industry for over 28, 29 years now. And major part of that, almost last 21 years, has been into data centers. I was heading the same business for Arcom between 2000 to 2010. 2010 to about last March, I was doing the same thing, heading it for NetMagic, which got acquired by NTT. And now I thought, why not to do something on my own? I've launched a new project along with Hiran and Nani, real estate construction company, launching a large project called Yotta, which is building, large scale data center campuses in multiple cities in the country.
Thank you, Sunil. I appreciate the introduction, and I think you have bringing in a great pedigree with you in terms of the experience in the industry. Let's start to understand a little bit more about the Yotta journey. Walk us through about how Yotta began and what are you doing there?
Yeah, sure. So, Sabri, the whole origination of Yotta was based on the thought that the way digital explosion is prevailing all around us, we have seen that the infrastructure which is required to support this digitization is still not good enough in India. India is possibly still one tenth of what India should be in terms of its data center capacity. While in case of telecom, we have taken good strides in the last 20 years with the availability of fiber, multiple telecom operators, the geo effect, and so on. But the data center capacity has not kept pace with that. And in the last 5 years, with the advent of the hyperscale cloud operators coming in India, that need of a large scale quality infrastructure has been felt. I did serve them in my previous stint for last 5 years and clearly could see that now there's a much bigger dose of high quality large scale infrastructure which is required to serve hyperscalers. But at the same time, when you see it's not only just hyperscaler, but enterprises, SMEs, SOHOs, startups, using technologies like AI, ML, IoT, where ultimately means human effort is being replaced by machines, will be needing huge infrastructure underlying, which is data centers. You need a much larger capacity, and that is where the idea of Yotta came in. And behind everything digitalization, which runs in a data center, underlying that you still need land parcels, you need construction capability, you need power capability, you need fiber capabilities, and no better than that than Hiran and Nanis, who are known for making large urban townships, very high quality townships. So what we have done at Yotta simple is we have combined the skill sets and experience of professionals like myself and my entire team who have come with the, I would say, enough experience in data centers and cloud background with the expertise and infrastructure of Hiran and Nani, and creating a large managed data center company which is combining all the strengths right from land, real estate, power to data center domain expertise and connectivity. So in a way, you can serve very large enterprises and cloud operators on one end with your large infrastructure. At the same time, you can also serve the needs of digital India by way of serving managed services, everything as a services, types of services to enterprises, SMEs, and SOHOs as well. That is what Yotta is.
Got you. Talk us about some of the work, whatever you have done so far. Talk us about what do you have right now, what is upcoming.
Yes, so as you can see on the screen, we at the moment as Yotta are working on three large data center projects. The first project is in Mumbai, Navi Mumbai to be precise. Second one, which is coming up in Chennai, and third one, which is coming up is in Greater Noida, NCR. In all these places, these are large campuses, each campus having like more than 200 megawatt type of power, which is generated by and distributed by us ourselves with our own power license. We are creating rack capacity like 30,000 racks in Mumbai, 20,000 in Chennai, 30,000 in Delhi. In Mumbai, we went live just July with our first data center, which itself is world's second largest data center, which is uptime tier 4 certified. It is 7,200 rack capacity. It is up live kicking, serving a lot of customers. And we are delivering, a whole range of services from this data centers. If you can go to next slide. In these data centers, our idea, as I said earlier, is not only to serve very, very large hyperscale cloud operators and content operators with bulk co-location like full floors or full buildings given to them on a very optimized and quality model, which is my co-location services, but also serve the needs of large, medium, and small enterprises with services, which include a whole range, like you can see Yotta Enterprise Cloud in the center where you want compute, you want storage, you want backup recovery, disaster recovery, any type of software you want to run, you want platforms to develop your applications, run your applications, you want to run private cloud because you may not want to run everything on a public cloud, or you want specific compute environment for your SAP workloads. So effectively, it is like endless what you can do the moment you get into an environment of tying up with OEMs, ISVs, SMEs, SOHO who are working on a whole lot of newer age services, and you tie up your infrastructure with those services. There's a no limit to what all you can deliver on a as a service model, and that's what Yotta is doing in its cloud domain. And of course, there are support services like network. I'm a Class A ISP because internet is needed whenever you want to deliver any digital service, or security or management of IT services. So this is a complete bouquet, right from serving very large scale colo needs of hyperscalers to serving a small cloud instance to a SME and SOHO. We are covering a whole bouquet of services to literally serve digital India end to end.
Wow, that's quite a wide array of products and portfolio in terms of services what you offer. Actually, it's fascinating to see that you're probably one of the very few businesses who actually launched something in the thick of COVID. During July, you actually launched your new business, and actually a couple of days ago, it's worth noting that you had the Bhumi Puja for your next data center Noida as well, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see that, and that logically takes us to the first question what we're talking about, which is about during this unprecedented COVID times where there has been a fundamental shift in the way we do business, the way we transact, the way we look at our personal lives have changed significantly. And how do you think digital transformation is taking place during this unprecedented time? How do you think that's happening? And what is the role of a data center in this? How is it helping it fast track this?
So if you see this, that I would say that this current COVID, the current challenge has just accelerated the pace of digitalization. It's not the original reason for digitalization. It's just accelerating the pace of adoption in our personal and professional life. But the fundamentally, if you see, it is a huge economic growth, more and more disposable income in hands of you and me, more and more people joining the vast Indian middle class so that we can use all the latest, tools at cost effective prices. The telecom boom, which in India started in the last 20 years, the mobile boom, most of the mobiles are manufactured in India at 4,000, 5,000 rupees. You can have a smartphone in your hands, resulting into almost 75 crore, as per the latest figure, 75 crore Indians actually connected to internet, and you consuming, all type of content coming their way. So this is something which is literally exploding all around us. We are not only consuming content, but you and me are creating content every moment. The moment we take a selfie, we create a video, we are uploading. We are actually creating content every single time, and we all know there's no limit to that. It's going to only accelerate. What is happening now, which is a distinct thing we can see and will be more and more pronounced in the coming days, that as of now, it is machines who are helping us, making our job, making our life simple by way of e-health, e-education, e-entertainment, everything. With time, you will see more and more work which we are doing for our professional lives, the human capital, that is going to gradually being replaced by machines when we have more and more powerful algorithms of AI and ML start doing all those work which traditionally were known as only and only human being can do, right? The AI wave of earlier was that you teach the machine to do something, you teach some steps, and the machine will start replicating what you have taught it to be. But now with the latest algorithm, you are just giving so much of data to the machine that machine has become intelligent to learn itself how to take decisions. So basically, the moment you bring that capability in the latest wave of AI, there's no limit to what all a machine can do, and we all know what type of use cases AI has started throwing all around us. So I would say it is essentially sitting on the fence. I see this means more and more of the workload which we as humans do today with our own hands and skills will start being done by machines, and those machines will start getting into data centers, right? And the work of those machines will start running over telecom network and start getting into our lives through our sensors, through our devices, and through our mobile phones. So essentially with this, I would say, background, let us see the importance of data centers. Every single aspect of our life will start running, getting analyzed, computed, stored into some machine in some data center. So size and scale of data centers or any technology running on the top of data centers, be it cloud or anything, will need to be scaled up much bigger time if you want to see a real good cases of AI, ML, and automation, which we are talking about in our lives in coming times.
Absolutely. I think it goes back to the point what we had a chat about a couple of weeks ago is about data is the next oil. So
Yep.
everything is all about data. Being able to store it, being able to access it at a much faster pace is something essential, and data centers play a very pivotal role there. So thank you, Sunil, for that. And that leads us to the next question about SMEs have a big challenge in their hand in terms of building a product which is the best of class, building it at a much faster pace and at a cheaper cost. Right. So more often it is like a triangle, which where we try to balance these, and more often it's a very challenging atmosphere for all of these SMEs to survive and to be able to thrive in this competitive landscape. How do you think digitization and everything as a service is helping SMEs to thrive in this landscape, because it's extremely competitive out there? What do you think we can do there?
No, absolutely. I would say that the current trend of digitization, automation, connected world is actually the double-edged sword for SMEs and SOHOs and startups. On one end, is opening the world market for us that you can really reach out to every single customer across the world and actually sell your products and wares to those customers. But at the same time, you see the other part of the edge is it is adding as much competition to you. Earlier, you were possibly competing with some local players who were nearby to you in your market, but now you're competing with the entire world, right? So basically with this global landscape in front of you, opportunities as well as threats, it becomes very important that number one, of course, being innovative, coming out with the most quality product just becomes a hygiene. If you don't have that, obviously you're not in the market. But more important than that is ability to scale up much bigger in shortest period of time in case you succeed in the market. Ability to give the best of the customer experience, because that is the only way you will be able to retain them. As much as good product you should have, you should be able to give that much of customer experience also to retain their attention is important. But more importantly is also ability to scale down should there be a reason that you are not able to scale up, your business is not successful, which is very much possible because as a startup, we experiment with 10 ideas, possibly 2 ideas get successful and 8 ideas might not be successful. Their time might not have come. So effectively, ability to scale up fastest, but also ability to scale down and not making long-term capex and opex commitment is also equally important. The worst thing startups face is they just put so much of cash on the table and they burn all that cash and suddenly realize that they don't have anything in hand. So how do you actually have this, manage this dilemma of ability to scale up and go very fast, but at the same time ability of not to scale down and not having made long-term capex and opex commitment? That is where I would say digitalization and everything as a service comes up, right? And that is where I think the world is moving. Cloud is purely that phenomena only, where somebody else is taking the risk on your behalf. Somebody else has put up millions and billions and dollars of creating that infrastructure, converting that infrastructure into services. You as a consumer are just going onto the cloud, consuming whatever you want to consume, come out in case you are not successful in your business for whatever reason, and in case you have to scale up, within minutes you can scale up to whatever level you can scale up. So I would say digitization of course is required because you want to target the best type of suppliers for your product to make yourself cost effective. It is important to reach out to best of the customers and to make your product very attractive to the customers. But besides digitalization, consuming everything on a as a service model is making sure that not only you are able to scale up but faster, you're able to scale down faster, and you are able to still maintain a profitable, cost efficient business house and not burning yourself.
Kachat, I think it's absolutely vital what you mentioned, because digital is all about agility to grow your business. And I think the fundamentally what I observed, what you said was being able to scale down when needed, because it is about cutting your losses when things are not going all that well. And that's where you need a help of a pay as you go model or everything as a service model, which really helps to channel this in the right direction in terms of investment, etc. So well said, Sunil. I think moving on, I want to talk about what is Yotta doing to further this digitization, and how is this everything as a service model helping SMEs thrive in this digital world?
Yeah, so essentially, as I said, Sabri, in my previous slides, that I am actually trying to take a multi-pronged approach to reach all segments of the market. Of course, one segment of the market which I'm trying to address with my large infrastructure is the largest of the cloud operators and the large enterprises and large banks. That is one part of my story. But the second part of story, which I call is I'm serving through Yotta Tech Services. That is where we are actually trying to come out and roll out whole lot of services. Now let me clarify, I am not the originator of or engineer of any of these services. These are the services which are available from best of the OEM, best of the ISVs, I would say best of the SMEs and SOHOs who are working in advanced technology space. They are the ones who are coming with technologies. What I am doing as an infrastructure operator, I am actually working along with them as their partner, adopting their technology, using marrying that technology with my infrastructure, putting them, orchestrating them into my portal, and delivering all that to the large segments of the customers on a as a service model. Obviously, I'm mailing my billing and metering layer so that those services can be metered, can be used by customers on an hourly or a monthly basis, and they can just use it whenever they want, and whenever they want to come out, they can just come out. So that is what I'm trying to do fundamentally. So if you see on the first part, what I'm trying to do for SMEs is I'm launching services which are very, very relevant for them on the same everything as a service model. So whether it is Yotta Enterprise Cloud, where you can get very, very cost effective, high quality, compute, storage, backup, disaster recovery services, whether you want on a KVM model, want on an open source model, you want to have a very good desktop as a service. We have worked a huge R&D on this work. So very, very critical enterprise workload, you want to support just 5 users, giving them a desktop as a service, or whether you want to support maybe 1,000 or 5,000 users, my services can scale there, and you can just then use employees can use their enterprise desktop from any simple device they may have at their home. It may be a simple mobile or iPad or a basic desktop. They can do that. For the SMEs who are working on advanced technologies like AI, ML, they want to do rendering, they want to do training, they want to put on production, they may be going for gaming, they may be going for rendering. For these type of advanced services, we have launched recently GPU based services. Again, the same thing. They are not putting crores of rupees in GPUs. I have invested into them and delivering to them on an hourly and monthly basis now. SAP as a service. So SMEs who may be going for SAP B1, whether you want to go for SAP B1 or SAP HANA, I'm delivering everything on a as a service model. My cloud has got special SAP certified workloads, which compute environment, which is specifically designed for SAP type of services. And of course, I add that with my implementation, migration, and SAP management services. Couple of services I've launched along with some SMEs, by the way, who were very, very good in banking space. So some applications which are required by cooperative banks or other small banks who otherwise cannot afford to invest into technology, we have launched services like anti-money laundering or reconciliation services. These are or video KYC services. These are the services which these banks cannot afford otherwise. They are typical SMEs, you can say. So they cannot afford to invest that much of money into the services, but we are actually now delivering to them on a practically per user, per transaction model. If you see in the right media workstation, again, SMEs who are working on AutoCAD, Revit, rendering, gaming, all those services, they invest into lakhs of rupees per workstation. Now I'm putting those workstations on my GPUs, virtualizing those GPUs in my backend, in my data center, and just with the help of a VDI like Citrix, I'm delivering it to them on a normal desktop at their offices. So all the people involved into high-end stuff, they don't need to invest into huge capex on those workstations, and those workstations I'm now delivering on a as a service model. Enterprise application, I'm actually coming out of the MS Office equivalent type of a service, which bundled with my VDI effectively is giving them all the applications of MS Office and let's say a personal drive on their VDI environment itself, right? Um, And then you see the enterprise video conferencing. This is something which will be very, very interesting to watch. I will not divulge too much onto this, yet to be launched, but it's something which will be used whether you want to do a basic conferencing in an office, or whether you want to publish it live on YouTube or Facebook, or whether you want to do some very, very high end conferencing with features like polling and back room or side rooms talking and things like that. That is something we'll be launching. So if you just see the gamut of services, each of these services is something which is a hugely productivity enhancement tool for SMEs and SOHOs. And all these services are available to them at zero upfront capex investment, or for that matter, zero OPEX commitment. They can use it as much as they want to use it. They can come out of it whenever they want to come out of it. If you do the next slide, what we are trying to do now, this is something which is very, very interesting. To support SMEs, SOHOs, and I would say startups also. Right today, this is the announcement I'm making, is that every single attendee of this conference, whether they are attending my this session or every single NISC conference attendee, will get a 100 rupee voucher. You can just use this voucher on my cloud portal. It is live. You will take just 3 clicks to make your user account on my cloud portal. Just use this voucher. In $100, you can actually go for 1 or 2 months. You can use my cloud services, test your applications. If you love it, like it, continue using it. If you don't love it, don't like it, obviously you can come out. You have a voucher with you. The second program I'm launching is Cloud Explore program. This is something which will be an ongoing program from Yotta, starting next week, where on our portal we are actually opening up a platform for SMEs and SOHOs to register themselves, talk a little bit about what application they are putting in. We really want to promote all those high-end applications. And every week will be actually based on what we think are great things to come up for in the future, but these people actually need support during the initial time. They don't have capex or opex capabilities. We are actually giving 4 vouchers of $250 each, 2 vouchers of $500 each, and 1 voucher of $1,000 each every week. So if actually this is something which will be ongoing for next possibly 1 year, every week we'll keep on distributing these vouchers. So the idea again is, during those tough times when SMEs and SOHOs are starting up, when they're trying with new ideas, when the cash flow may be a problem, that is the time we are giving them the entire infrastructure by way of these vouchers. And of course, once they start generating revenues, of course that is the time then they can start, in case they like to continue with us, they can start paying me after that. And the last program is Cloud Evolve, where for the SMEs who are already using digitization and cloud heavily, right, but now they're into production and still cost efficiency is the key for them. What I am actually launching a program is, you pay for 8 months and use for 12 months. So effectively every quarter they will only pay for 2 months, and the third month will be free. So this benefit is not coming to them after paying for 8 months. Actually every quarter I'll keep on giving them benefits. 2 months they pay, third month is free. My prices, we have benchmarked almost 25% lesser than the best cloud operator. And if you see this benefit of 33%, overall, the customers can enjoy almost 50% plus benefit in terms of their cloud savings. In case they are having a 5 lakh type of billing per month on cloud, this is the type of savings they can enjoy on our platform. So this is the second. So one was my service range. Second is this program. And if you go to the next slide is talking about one more program, which I think is very, very relevant for all the IT startups. This is pay when you earn. In this program, which will be again launching on our portal or our website next week, is practically you are not paying me anything. You just approach us, tell us your idea. Of course, we will have some sort of a selection process. Once your application is selected, your use case is selected, we will deploy your application, whatever it takes. It might take a huge cloud infrastructure of mine. I will actually deploy it, no questions asked, no money charged. You deploy it and you start running it. Not only we do that, we also become a part of your GTM. Along with your team, our product team will work. We will actually do the collateral work. We'll do the social media campaigning work. We'll do everything which is required to promote your product. Your products also become a kitty of my entire partner and channel partner network and direct sales network. So we also start promoting your network, promoting your products. And once your product becomes successful, possibly at a mutual agreed time in future, that is the time when we become a party to your revenue share. So effectively, it is a no cost launch of your services with full infrastructure.
Great, Sunil. Fantastic array of incentives available for SMEs to capitalize on. And I think what's very vital is, you have this incubator program also to help startups, experiment and then start paying you, when they really start getting the revenues out there. And that's fascinating. And also, just to reiterate the point about the vouchers, every NISC attendee gets $100 vouchers from Yotta. Please go ahead and start using them. Try out various different services as well, so that you can start understanding how best you can carry on with the digital journey. Right. Moving on, it takes us to the most logical thing, Sunil. What do you think is the outlook for 2021 for Yotta and beyond? Right? And how are you aligning with the changing market trends, because things are so rapidly dynamically changing in the last few months, I would say, since the pandemic set in. And how do you see your outlook for 2021 and beyond?
I think, Sabri, because of the variety of factors, including the COVID imposed digitization in our personal and professional life, which is going to continue to stay, these habits have been formed and people have started loving it. So, whether it is that or whether it is the citizen privacy concerns, which will also make a whole lot of Indian data local in the Indian shores itself, in Indian data centers, or whether it is more and more adoption of AI, ML, and IoT use cases, all these trends are very, very clear that India, besides the various efforts of digitization, which I'm sure our brothers in SMEs, SOHOs, and various companies are doing, India will need an equally big dose of infrastructure in terms of data center, cloud, and supporting services, and everything being made available to our, digital brethren on a as a service model. That is what Yotta is planning to do. On one hand, larger infrastructure to support larger cloud operators, who in turn indirectly are serving the SME SOHO community only, and also directly serving this community by way of delivering these services, everything on a as a service model. So for me, the plan is very clear, my space is very clear. I'm a infrastructure provider. I am trying to partner with as many SMEs, SOHOs, and startups as much as possible, converting their services into as a service model. This is serving everybody's purpose. It's serving my purpose. It's business for me at the end of the day. It is serving the purpose of SME SOHO because their product go to market faster. They have more chances of winning. And finally, it is serving digital India. It is serving Atmanirbhar India, because ultimately we are growing the ecosystem as a whole. That is what my growth is. So whether I launch more services, whether I launch more data center parks, there'll be part and parcel of this. We will be just evolving it as the things come on.
Great. Thank you, Sunil. I think it's worth reiterating the fact organizations which have really gone digital are the ones which have been able to survive in these uncertain times. And I think you are doing your part by supporting the SMEs during these challenging times. Thank you, Sunil. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Thank you for your insights. And to summarize, there is everything here for an SME whereby they can reduce their capex, work on an everything as a service model, and then become profitable. Thank you, Sunil. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Sabri, and thank you everybody for listening to me, giving your time to me. Thank you very much.